So anyone who thinks Donkey Kong Bonanza is gonna be this huge failure, this huge flop, Donkey Kong Bonanza previews. When it was first announced for a post-launch for Switch 2, there was something of a tempered enthusiasm for Donkey Kong Bonanza. So it was great to see other characters from Nintendo's portfolio get pre-release, but without a mainline Super Mario or Zelda, lineup felt lacking. But now clear that Bonanza isn't meant to be some sort of stopgap until the next killer app. It's a full-on spiritual successor to both Mario Odyssey and the DK games of old, as it would aim to elevate the franchise back into the upper echelons of video game royalty. So if you do not remember, all the way back in the SNES days, Donkey Kong was amongst Nintendo's best-selling games. Yes, Donkey Kong Country was amongst the best-selling SNES games, and I think if Donkey Kong Country 2 was, but it was Donkey Kong Country 3, of course, was not because it was released so late into the SNES's lifespan. Donkey Kong 64 kind of just dropped the ball, and Donkey Kong ever since then has never really been amongst the best-selling games in Nintendo. Like, there has never been a Donkey Kong game that's ever passed 10 million. Okay, I believe the original Donkey Kong Country was released, for, let's say, for the Switch 1, it is on a selling 151 million copies. Donkey Kong Country was sold like 20 to 30 million copies. It would have been a huge, huge hit for the Switch as well. But I think Donkey Kong Bonanza will be the first Donkey Kong game ever to hit 10 million copies sold, which I think will be a huge achievement for Donkey Kong as a franchise. Because guess what? Donkey Kong will no longer be ignored and they'll say, oh yeah, we'll just toss Donkey Kong aside like they did with the Switch 1 as well. But yeah, I think this is a very, what I heard, this game is a very great spiritual successor to Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong and the original Donkey Kong games. And also, it is technically your Mario Odyssey 2. Yes, I know some people, will be upset about this because it's not actually Mario Odyssey 2, but Donkey Kong Bonanza is basically Mario Odyssey 2. Okay, yeah, it is a spiritual successor to both Mario Odyssey and the DK games of old. That's what this preview has said about the game. This game is basically Mario Odyssey 2, okay, as well, and it's a spiritual successor of the older Donkey Kong games as well for the SNES and older hardware as well. Okay, and especially Donkey Kong 64 as well. And this game could really be a huge spiritual successor to Donkey Kong 64 and even games like Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie for the N64 as well. And also being a spiritual successor to Mario Odyssey as well. Being one of the best-selling games in the Switch 1, this game is not a pushover game for the next huge games as well. No, this game is the big game. And I'm glad that people are finally starting to understand that, okay? Donkey Kong Bonanza is the big game. That's why Nintendo is releasing this game so early into the Switch's lifespan, because this is the big game for this year. Besides Resident Evil and Mario Kart World, okay? This is the big game, okay? And it's going to become a bestseller for the Switch too. I'm almost certain of it as well. Yeah. And yeah, goodbye.